Hi, my name is Kelly Webb. I'm with the Asheville Fire Department, and today we're here to talk about the use of portable fire extinguishers. We're going to discuss how to use them and when to use them, and then hopefully if you're ever put in that situation that you might encounter a fire, you might feel a little more comfortable using the portable fire extinguisher. Now, depending on what kind of fire you encounter will actually determine which type of extinguisher you use. But to make things more simple, we're just going to talk about the fact that there is a portable fire extinguisher called a multi-purpose extinguisher. That multi-purpose extinguisher will cover pretty much any type of fire that you would encounter. Now, what I teach you today is not just for business purposes, but it's also for your personal life. So, the things that we talk about not only would help you in your day-to-day activities at work, but if you're out shopping, if you're at a child care center or something like that, pretty much whatever fire extinguisher is hanging on the wall will put out any fire you would encounter in that situation. Please do understand that the portable fire extinguisher is for the beginning stage of a fire, meaning if you encounter the fire within the first few minutes of it, that you could probably put it out with that fire extinguisher. But if a fire has been burning for 5 or 10, 15 minutes, and you're wondering whether or not that fire extinguisher will put it out, it probably won't. So if you're ever in doubt, please just get out. Your safety is definitely our first concern, and we want you to leave the firefighting to the firefighters. I make the joke that you do not see firefighters running into a burning building with portable fire extinguishers because that's not what they are designed to do. So please understand that it is for the very beginning stage of a fire. For instance, if you encounter a trash fire, child playing with matches, or perhaps you've started a fire on the top of a stove, that's when you want to be able to grab your portable fire extinguisher and put the fire out. Otherwise, like I said, your safety is our first concern. Please get out, call 911, and leave the firefighting to the firefighters. Now, fire extinguishers pretty much all look the same. They're this beautiful red color. We have a handle, that's what you can carry it by, and it's actually the top portion of the handle, the trigger, that will emit the agent. They all have a safety pin in there, and that safety pin is tied on by a zip tie, and that's so that somebody doesn't accidentally lose that safety pin or a child tampers with the extinguisher, accidentally setting it off. They have some type of a nozzle or hose depending on the size of the extinguisher. They all should have a gauge, and this gauge is very important because the gauge is going to let you and me know whether or not this extinguisher is ready to use. If the gauge shows that the yellow arrow is in the green area, meaning it's charged and ready to go, then as far as you and I know that this is ready and it can be used. Otherwise, if you notice that the yellow arrow has dropped below the green, that means the extinguisher has lost charge for whatever reason and cannot be used. So please, if you ever notice an extinguisher that the yellow arrow has dropped out of the green, get it off the wall immediately, call maintenance, call whoever might be in charge of that extinguisher, and have them replace it immediately. If you leave it on the wall, the chance that somebody might need to grab it and use it is putting them in a high risk. So please. And if you ever notice that your personal extinguisher has lost a charge, you can look in the phone book under fire extinguisher companies. Several companies can assist you with recharging your extinguisher. A lot of the ones in businesses will have a tag on them. This means that annually a fire extinguisher company is coming out and checking this extinguisher out, making sure it's charged and ready to go. So annually somebody is physically touching this extinguisher and making sure it's in good working condition. But it would be helpful if you ever notice anything wrong with your extinguisher that you notify, somebody that can get that fixed immediately. We actually teach an acronym that helps you remember how to use the extinguisher. It's very simple, and the word is PASS. PASS stands for pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. PASS. First thing that you want to do is pull this safety pin out. This extinguisher will never work until you pull this pin out. Be sure you're not depressing the top portion of this handle at the same time because you're just pushing and pulling against yourself. So pull this pin out and discard it. You do not need the pin. Then you're going to aim the nozzle. You always want to aim at the base of a fire. It's very important that you understand what the base of the fire is because even though flames may be coming up out of that fire, out of the base of the fire, you can knock those back, but until you get the agent on the actual base of the fire, it will not be extinguished. So please understand that if you have a trash can that's on fire, that something inside of it is on fire, flames may be coming out of that trash can and you can knock it back, but until you get that agent inside that trash can, the fire is not actually going to go out. So be sure that you always aim at the base of the fire. So pull, aim, squeeze. You're going to squeeze this trigger. It will break a seal on the canister and the agent will be pushed out. Pull, aim, squeeze, and then we ask everybody to sweep so that you're sure that you cover the whole base of that fire. You want to be sure that you don't get tunnel vision, spray in one spot, which could easily spread the fire side to side. You want to keep a distance of about 8 to 10 feet when you encounter a fire and you're going to use your fire extinguisher. And that's because you never know how much pressure is inside the extinguisher, how you're going to react, or how the fire might react. So if you start a good distance of 8 to 10 feet away, start spraying, then you can work yourself up to that fire as you get a little more comfortable. You always want to leave your back to an exit, and this is very important. Fire grows very rapidly. It can actually grow 7 times itself in 1 minute. So if you think about the time that it takes you, once you've discovered a fire, to find your extinguisher, to call 911, several minutes could have gone by. You want to be sure that you don't get overwhelmed. You need to keep your back to an exit. If that fire gets out of control, then you can get out. I highly recommend that you familiarize yourself with where the extinguishers are located throughout your building, wherever you work. And also, if you do have one at your house, I highly recommend that you go home tonight, pull it to the front of your cabinet, make sure that it's ready to be used. It needs to be easily accessible and readily available at all times.